Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when time runs out for the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when time runs out for the narcissist, this will not be a pleasurable thing. What it means is now people are beginning to understand who they are and that they have been manipulating virtually everybody in their life since they were a young individual, up until and including possibly right now. This is when children wise up. This is when alleged friends and or flying monkeys smarten up. This is when romantic interests with the narcissist, they don't want to play the games any longer. This is when business associates close the doors. This is when things change for the narcissist. Remember, the narcissist is juggling many relationships at one period of time. When I say juggling, I mean trying to figure out which lies to keep straight, what stories they told whomever, who to gaslight, who to give the silent treatment to, who to use the smear campaign on, who to throw rage fits on, who they can bully. This is what the narcissist does. So keep in mind, when you have to fib and or lie and or spread untruths about an individual or individuals, you have a lot of lying to remember. And this is exactly one of the things the narcissist falls prey to their own sword, meaning when they are spreading untruths or using the smear campaign or telling lies about individuals, it comes back to roost. It really does. People wise up eventually. People catch on because there are too many common denominators in the narcissistic relationship. Example, let's say that you were a spouse of the narcissist. Okay, well, were you spouse number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4? Who knows? But what is the common denominator there? I'll tell you what it is. It's the narcissist. If they were married multiple times, well, usually that means it's a red flag. It doesn't always mean that, but if you married the narcissist, you know what I'm talking about. Drop comments below. The narcissist goes from relationship to relationship thinking that they are smarter than everybody, thinking that they are winning this thing called life, thinking that they can pull one over on another individual, the whole time taking advantage of their resources, which include their health, their financial status, their network of friends, their job, their hobbies, their money, everything. The narcissist wants to take everything they possibly can from you. And this is why many times when people fall into these toxic relationships, they are sold a bill of goods by the narcissist. In other words, the narcissist would say, oh, my former boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse, whoever it was, they never treated me right and they didn't take care of me and they abused me and I had such a difficult childhood, etc., things like that. When they say these things, they get you to put your guard down. And they get you to believe in the false narrative of the mask. And they play you on your heartstrings. And what they do is when they are getting close to you, this is when they're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm getting really good at this. I can really manipulate this individual. And what will I do? Well, I'll spread some information or some false truths about the past relationship I was in, and I will use that to springboard into the relationship with this individual, and that person was you. And this eventually will catch up over time. Perhaps not when you're in the relationship, perhaps when you are in it, but certainly post-relationship. If you were discarded, and again, if you were, my heart goes out to you, or if you ended it yourself, my heart still goes out to you. The point being, when these relationships end, what happens is usually the dust settles, the fog lifts. You figure out that the person you were with was not only a challenging and rather difficult individual to be with, that I'm being very polite there, but this person almost took you down for the count, and they were testing you each and every day, week, month, year, perhaps even decade, and they knew your resources were becoming weakened. In other words, they saw your health decline. They saw that your finances were probably at zero or you're in credit card debt now, and they saw that your social circle was dwindling. They knew exactly the pulse of the relationship throughout the whole body of the relationship. They were testing it with you. They were seeing how strong you were. They were seeing how much manipulation and or abuse you would tolerate. They were seeing if you could tap into and find another source of financial resources. In other words, did you get a better job, or did you just inherit money, or are you gonna sell that property so you can nurture the narcissist for another couple of years? This is all in the back of the narcissist. Remember, what they want is they want your time, your money, your energy, your soul, your purpose. They want to take everything they can from you, and they succeed for a period of time until they don't. That's why I'm sharing. Let's say the relationship ended. Well, after that happened, you had a huge void there. You had to put yourself back together. You had to dust yourself up by the bootstraps and put yourself back together and heal and understand practice radical acceptance and perhaps heal childhood wounds and figure out that this wasn't you. You were manipulated. You were in a relationship with the juggernaut, the narcissistic individual, an individual who sincerely did try to take you down for the count, but they failed. And now they're doing that with another individual or multiple individuals. It doesn't matter who they're with right now, as long as it's not you. Unfortunately, I need to say that because you're on the channel, you're getting the wisdom, you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And my hope is the new supply, whoever they are, that they don't experience the toxicity to the level you did, but most likely they did because the narcissist is aging and they're fine-tuning their skills of manipulation, lies, deceit, destruction, and devastation. So that's most likely what's happening with the new supply, whatever you think. Having said that, when time runs out for the narcissist, eventually it does. Eventually, immediate family members, extended family members, acquaintances, associates, people the narcissist knows, even flying monkeys like I shared, eventually they can only take so much because they're recognizing there's a pattern here. And again, that common denominator is one person. It's the narcissist. This is why the narcissist cannot maintain any length of a relationship, a stable, healthy relationship. Each and every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date with their own kids, with their own parents, with their friends, with their colleagues, coworkers, with their partners. These all have an expiration date, and the narcissist knows this. I'll tell you why, because they can't control themselves. They need individuals as human punching bags, if you will. They need individuals as sounding boards. They need individuals to abuse behind the closed doors. They need individuals to abuse in cars. They need individuals to believe in the false narrative of the mask. They need people around them to regulate themselves. And one of the challenging things for the narcissist is when they are isolated or alone by themselves. And you may say to yourself, when does that happen, Andrew? It happens more than you would think. Think about this. Think about the narcissist in a car ride. Let's say they have to drive 1, 2, 3, 5 hours. Well, then their cell phone battery isn't working because they don't have reception. What's going to happen there? That's not going to be a good time period for the narcissist because they need disruption. They need people on the phone. They need to be busy, busy, busy. They can't sit still. So that's a small example. And imagine being inside the mind of a narcissist. Imagine that for a minute. What a challenging, toxic cesspool of a place that would be. Because the narcissist, they know how evil they are. They know how dark they are. They know what they do to individuals. And eventually these individuals, which at one period was you get the wisdom. You find my channel and you say, wait a minute, this is matching up with my relationship. And it's not just this one person. There's a whole bunch of people, maybe even in my immediate family. And these things are going off left, right, and center, meaning you're getting light bulb moments. You're understanding that these poor behaviors should not be tolerated. It doesn't matter who you're referring to, meaning maybe it's one of your parents and they just say, oh, I'm from the old country. I'm entitled to be that way. I can treat anybody the way I want to. Not so fast, mom and dad. You can't. Those days are long over. We now have the internet. We now have these smartphones. We now are getting educated on a much rapider rate these days. And your old games of manipulation, they don't add up any longer. So get with the times. Poor behavior will not be tolerated any longer. That's another one. Say a culture, for example. Many times the narcissist will say, hey, that's just my culture. That's just the way I am. We scream at people in our family. That's what we do. Really? Well, that's not good behavior. And whatever culture you're from, that should not be tolerated if it is meant to inflict harm and inflict damage to another individual. But this is what the narcissist does. Remember, the narcissist gives themselves free passes each and every time they display poor behavior. They act like it never happened. They act like, oh, don't be such a baby. Take it. What's the big deal? Everyone else puts up with me. They'll say anything they can. But what will happen? And also, they'll flip it around on you and play the victim card and say, well, if you didn't burn the turkey from 10 years ago on Thanksgiving, I wouldn't have done this today. And you're like, what are you talking about? That was 10 years ago and it was a little overcooked. Big deal. The potatoes were incredible. Get my point? But this is how the narcissist is. The narcissist will be exposed. They will expose themselves. I am strongly suggesting, by the way, do not expose the narcissist. Do not call them one. Take the high road. Do the right thing. Become small. Stay away from them. Get off the radar. Go no contact. Block them. Delete all flying monkeys and people associated with them if you can. If you can't, utilize gray rock, which means just become boring. Get off the radar. But having said these things, when time runs out for the narcissist, it will run out eventually. Why do you think so many parents who are the narcissists, moms or dads, why do you think their kids don't talk to them when the kids grow up and become young adults? It's because they've tolerated the poor behavior throughout their whole childhood, and now they've wised up and they've figured out, wait, I don't need to be around this person. I don't need to do anything for them. Yeah, they gave me life, that's great, but I don't owe them anything, and this is my life. I'm gonna go in the direction I want to go. That's why so many times the children of the narcissist, they don't want to communicate with the mom or the dad or aunt, uncle, whoever's in the family, because they don't need to any longer. Think about it. Once you turn the legal age, you can do whatever you want to. That's what these people many times do. Not all the time, but many times. And many times they figure out throughout their childhood, they say to themselves, wait, my childhood is not the same as my friends or the kids in the neighborhood. Kids in the neighborhood have a loving, stable, healthy household. And mine seems to be like a roller coaster. One day everything's going great, the next day it's all blown up and there's drama everywhere, and I can't have a minute even to be a kid. I need to be cooking, cleaning, exercising. I need to be doing everything that this person who turns out to be the narcissist wants me to do. Why? Because they can control me until I'm of a legal age. So eventually time runs out for the narcissist. Eventually the aging narcissist kicks in, and the images of the past, in other words, this individual wearing clothes of decades ago, it doesn't look good. It's not a good fit for them. And all of the nastiness comes out of their pores, if you will. And no one wants to be around it. That's why the aging narcissist usually is alone. They sincerely are, because they get worse over time. They don't improve. They're not going to be accountable or introspect or apologize or say they were wrong or want to improve. They just want to keep on dishing out the toxicity and the nastiness and the narcissism to anybody who will take it. And many times it's their immediate family members, and certainly is the spouse. I will tell you that right now. But eventually people wise up. They don't want to do business with the narcissist. They don't want to be around them. They know there's always going to be drama. They know that when that individual is not in the room, the narcissist will be talking about them, which is you. Think about that one. I'll touch on that for a moment. If you're in a relationship with an individual, and as soon as you leave the room, that individual is bad-mouthing you, or vice versa, another individual leaves the room and that individual is bad-mouthing the person just left the room, massive red flag. That is not a stable or healthy relationship. I would really suggest exiting that relationship, because think about what the people are saying about you when you're not around. And it may not just be one narcissist or toxic individual. It could be a whole group of people. It could have been a whole company you worked with. Who knows? But these kind of individuals are now not being tolerated. Their poor behavior is not being tolerated any longer. That's why many times, example with the holidays coming up, many times people get invited over to people's houses for barbecues or get-togethers or celebrate the holidays, and they're beginning to decline these invitations. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they realize that those people that are at those get-togethers or gatherings, they don't serve them. They thought they did, but they don't, because these people have exposed them over a period of time, exposed themselves over a period of time. Think about what I'm sharing with you. The narcissist, for them, each and every day, more and more of these people's lives is coming to the light. People are understanding who they are. People are not wanting to be around them. People are not offering up the resources for these individuals. And what's happening, I will tell you, it's making the narcissist introspect for one split second and say, wow, I really need to change my A game. I'm not going to improve. I'm not going to be a better human being. I need to find a different way to manipulate people, because the old ways aren't working. People are wising up to me. They're catching on to me. And my support system, meaning the sources of supply I have, are really dwindling because I'm getting older and I need to find new people. But that's getting harder to find because I keep on using the same old tactics. I need to wise up and come up with some new tactics. I'll figure it out. Believe me, there'll be some unsuspecting individuals I can certainly get to fall in love with me, or I can manipulate and abuse. This will happen. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, and morning. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.